Uh, I wanted to do a little bit of a callback to the text review that we were
Okay.
doing. So there were a few things. There were a few moments where you were kind of adding a little bit of color, where you would kind of make like a little bit of like an assumption about like what the girl was saying or what she was doing, like
I
yeah,
was.
yeah, whether it was just things about her profile or things she was sending in the text. And during the breakdown, I would be like, I'm not really judging her right now, though, for a set of reasons. You know
I
what I mean?
definitely judge maybe a little too early, I've learned.
Yeah. So everybody judges, right? Like there's no getting around that. We all judge to a certain degree. One thing that I have learned with online dating is that with girls, they do not have to put in the same amount of work with their profiles and their early responses that a guy does. A girl is in a mode of being courted. I mentioned this on the previous episode. Um, so I'm never super quick to judge a girl based off of early communication, and I'm definitely not quick to judge her off of her profile when it's basic or boring.
Mm.
Now, girls might have really out there profiles where they're putting out like crazy political things, or um, maybe just like absurdly like deep prompts with like a lot of words, and it's like, whoa, like you're really coming at me here. And that might be one where you're going like, you're taking this a little bit too seriously, and
Mhm.
maybe it might be cool for some, it might not be for others. But when I would encourage more judgment on a very, very dense profile than I would on a profile that's very basic and lacking in a lot of information.
Mhm.
Because usually those ones that are pretty basic, the girl's really hot, she's used to getting swiped on, she's probably used to being hit on in real life, so she doesn't even really need the app, it's just there. Um, and a lot of her early communication is probably not going to be super, she's not going to put a whole lot of effort into it. So I will usually give the girl the benefit of the doubt early in a conversation to give me a couple of like haha, we'll see, or haha, really, or like lol, what do you mean by that? Like the girl can ask the silly routine follow-up questions and force me to impress her, because that's sort of the way that this works. And eventually you want to get to a point where, okay, now I have her attention, right? Now, if that point never really arrives and you're finding yourself putting in a ton of effort and she's still giving you just weird one word responses after coming back after an hour or a day, it might be time to call it quits. You're like, I'm not getting anything out of this. Like, what the heck's going on? But for the most part, I usually don't judge a lot of those girls until the first date, because I have a feeling that they're probably way, way different in person than they are through this app where they're just getting bombarded with notifications all
Yeah,
day.
I totally agree with that. I think maybe the difficult part where maybe it's not so difficult for you is if they're not giving you a lot to work with, it's hard to get to that first date point if it's just, "Oh, ha ha ha," or "LOL, funny."
Right. Yeah, and I think, like I said, you can call it quits at a certain point. Like I've had girls where, like, the moment that I make my third joke, where you don't take it in the direction that I'm pushing it, like I think one of my prompts on my profile is one thing I'd love to know about you is who's your favorite Disney princess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I've
And
seen
that,
that from you.
yep, and that's one where if if I'm looking to start a conversation with somebody, like maybe I've swiped, they've liked me back, I throw something out there, they respond. I might throw something out there about their profile, like maybe they say something along the lines of Sunday ritual. I love my coffee and football. I
Mhm.
might, which is pretty standard, like that. That'll happen a lot.
Very unique.
Yep, right. So I'll send out something um, like, how's a new morning routine sound? Waking up at my place with my homemade cold brew and a dog wearing an Eagles jersey, or something like that.
Mm,
And you would expect there to be some sort of like playful response back to that, but maybe she says something boring like "ha,"
sometimes.
like "haha, that could be cool," like super boring. At that point, if I don't really have too much else to work with, or she hasn't given me something more to work with, I might go to that Disney princess thing and be, by the way, I'm not sure how hard you looked at my profile, but I really need to know who your favorite Disney princess is. And they might come back with something like, like, I don't know. I loved Beauty and the Beast growing up, so Belle. And then I might throw something at them like, oh, well, like my mother would say that I've had a crush on Belle since I was 2 years old, but more of a Jasmine guy now. There's something about a girl with a pet tiger, like something just
How many girls just heard you say that and be like, "Wait, I thought he came up with that on the spot for me."
all the girls who are subscribed to our brand new channel. Eventually, it'll all get out. But I'm also shameless about this. It's like they don't say the same shit to guys too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's just the shit we have to say is different from the shit they have to say.
Yeah.
But at that point, if she just says like haha, that's so funny, or haha, that makes sense, something like that. Now I'm getting to the point where my clock is ticking a little bit, and I'm like, are you gonna add anything to this conversation? And maybe at this point, I'm thinking, it's time to call it quits on this one and go focus on another one. But I might give her like one more opportunity. Not every girl is going to give a guy that opportunity because there are so many other guys out there that have already liked her that she can pick from, that she basically can just be like, yeah, I'm going to zero in on like the one I think is the hottest and I'll get a free meal out of it. Whereas with us, our opportunities are few and far between. It's again, we'll be lucky to get one or two girls to talk to us on an app every day or two, whereas they could talk to any guy they want at any moment of the day on the apps, right?
Yeah, there are so many guys who are like, 1 or 2 a day? What?
uh, that's putting in effort, right?
Yeah, I think maybe, like, if we were to look at dating profiles like yours compared to maybe someone else's, there'd probably be big gaps.
Gaps like what?
Like, I mean, obviously, there's the physical side of things, but I'm sure your prompts are very playful, and it gives someone, "Hey, like, even though he looks a certain way, like, these prompts make it seem like we can actually have a fun conversation."
Oh, I mean, we could do a whole episode on profiles because there's definitely a science to that. Like even the Disney princess thing is, even without saying it overtly, it just weirdly signals that I'm sensitive. It's like, oh, Disney and
Yeah,
princesses.
I get
So
sensitive because I don't know anything about Disney princesses.
yeah, I watched Disney movies growing up, and again, you don't even need to know things to be able to just do like a quick little bit of research. Like if she says like who her favorite artist is, go look up that artist's song and get a song lyric and just that alone. Like all you have to do is put in some effort as a guy, and you're already better than 90% of the guys.
You know, it's funny, it reminds me of in, like, middle school growing up, and it's like you had a book assignment, you had to read a chapter,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Let me just read 1 page, get 1 tidbit." So if the teacher, "Oh, what'd you think about this chapter?" You just talk about that one thing, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, I agree." And
Yep.
it's like, "Oh, she thinks I read the whole thing."
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot just to stand out,
Mhm.
right? And that was the whole point of that. It's like, well, if I get called on, I need to have the one thing to say.
Yeah.
And now I did the one thing to say, so I stood out. I was the person who did the work, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, profiles are a totally other thing. And again, I think women again on the emotional spectrum versus the physical spectrum, yes, they do have the ability to be pickier about the men they like because they have so many to pick from. They can just pick the cream of the crop physically. But again, I have plenty of female friends that I talk to pretty regularly, and I talk to my sister a ton, and they do care about the prompts that you have.
Mhm.
Yes, they want you to be hot, but I don't know a single girl that doesn't look at the prompts and take them somewhat seriously.
Sure.
And when I say take them seriously, I just mean take note of them. And you don't want them, again, you don't want to take your profile too seriously. You don't want it to be identity defining. You just want it to be a little bit of marketing and a chance to see if you can get somebody to relate or chuckle.
Mhm.
And again, as a guy, you need that because you're supposed to be the provider. Again, sexist alert. Like as a guy, you're supposed to be the one who's providing like the comedy and the comfort and and sort of the playfulness, and the girl is the one who is the beautiful one in the relationship who's being courted because she's precious, she's glowing, she like that's the initial interaction. If we were to meet in real life, I would be approaching a girl because I think she's beautiful, and she would find me charming. right? She might also find me attractive, but really what the girl is looking for when a guy approaches her is, okay, he was confident enough to walk up to me, but like, how does he actually handle this situation?
Oh yeah.
That's the mindset of the girl. Being attractive, that's a cherry on top. Women are very attracted to you on the approach and how much sense you can make of that approach to convince her to actually give you more of her time. So, again, just tying a bow on it, that's why we need to care about our profiles because once we approach them, we need to have something else to offer. We are approaching them because they are beautiful. That's why their profiles don't need to be super charming. They just need to be beautiful.
Hmm.
So I don't, again, the goal is to get matches, right? We need to, well, I
Yeah.
sorry, I should say the goal on Hinge is to get matches. The eventual goal is to get a date, a
Yeah.
girlfriend, the whole deal.
It's that
But
first level of going through the pipeline.
right, exactly. Sales pipeline.
Yeah.
And what do we have to do to get matches? We have to be very charming. What does a girl have to do to get matches? Look pretty, right? That's not me saying that it's not important that a girl has more to offer in order to win us over as a girlfriend, but to
Hmm.
get us to acknowledge them as a beautiful option on the app, we don't care too much about your prompts unless you're getting super aggressive with them and literally being controversial to the point that we just disagree.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and I think and I think maybe from a guy's perspective, if you like someone, you swipe or you hit the heart or whatever, that's letting them know that you think they're attractive, right?
yes.
Okay.
And I think again, you differentiate yourself by commenting on the prompts, right? I prefer to go after them from a prompt perspective, or I might even like a photo but comment on multiple prompts, right?
Yeah.
If I can't pick one, um, like maybe she has a photo with her, maybe she has a photo of her like hiking, and then
Hmm.
she has prompts about like one thing you should know about me is I love my dog more than you or something like that. It'd be like, wow, for someone who loves her dog so much, you don't take her for a hike. Like it just
Ah,
so,
there you go.
but I'll like the photo, and it's like, okay, I like this photo. You're very pretty. You're very cute. And also, I read the rest of your profile. I
Yeah.
put in the work, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, don't concern yourself as much with the effort that the girl puts into her profile. Don't really like that. I think the one we reviewed in the breakdown of the conversation was all I ask is that you be yourself, and you were like, like
Yeah.
that was your response to that. She did, dude. That might have been the auto. That might have been the autofill one from Hinge. Like Hinge has
It's
auto-filled prompts
possible.
that she might have been like, all I ask is that she was probably going through this being like, this is so stupid. I don't need to do this. It's so stupid. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, be yourself. Like she really just copied it.
Not
I'm
taking it seriously.
I'm
Yeah.
overly competitive about everything. Like you see these all the time, right? So yeah, don't judge the girls. They don't have to put as much effort in. Give them a chance. And look, at a certain point when you're putting in a ton of effort and you're getting literally nothing to work with, maybe it's about time you call it quits. But if she's giving you something to work with, see if you can get to that first date and see what she's really about because it's likely that she will open up after that first date once she really knows how to communicate with you.
Yeah. I think it's good advice.
Yeah, so something to think about.
Cool.